Hey, Doug, I'm still here for Vegas Pro Insiders Daily. Today is April the 17th, and we are back with line moves today, and we're going to be talking about all three major sports today. That's right, we got something in the NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball today. So a little bit of everything for you today. So we'll get to that in just a moment because we have 5 big plays for you today on the board. Let's see, Doug Upstone and myself, Vegas Pro Insider Daily membership, $39.99 a month. That's all it's going to cost you. Lately, 68-42 in all picks, me personally. Okay, I think it's right around 60%. Been on a good roll. Had a couple of off days here and there a little bit lately, but the big thing is consistency. It's how you win, okay, is that you're going to have hot streaks, and then you're going to have periods where you cool down. The idea is to avoid the bad streak, and that's what I have been able to do over my last 90 picks. And so looking for that to continue, studying hard literally every single day. And so because I want to build up that bankroll for you. Plain and simple. I mean, and at the price of $39.99, there is no better deal in sports betting. I guarantee you that. Plus, you're going to get other top grade information like our Wise Guy consensus play, 38-21 of late. Okay, that's been very good. We also have our Hot Wise Guy who gives his one best bet every day. Cody's on a very nice roll at 11-5, so he's been doing well. Plus, you're going to get super systems that win consistently, the top trends of the day in all the sports that we cover. All that for $39.99. Best deal that there is without a question in sports betting today. So let's get to the free picks. Let's start in the NBA, where the New Orleans Pelicans are playing the Portland Trailblazers. Now, New Orleans had the upset in the first game, 97-95. Bit of a surprise. They played really good defense for the first 3 quarters, gave up a little bit in the fourth, but got the upset, got the job done. Now, normally you might think that, with New Orleans, Anthony Davis, you think, hey, you know what? This is a better defensive team, so that's why they won the game. The fact of the matter is, though, that in this one, the total is rising from 212.5 to 214. And so that would favor Portland, right? Okay, I mean, that would just be a fairly common way of thinking. Here's the deal, though. Portland is the better defensive team by far in terms of points allowed, giving up 7 less per game. And New Orleans is the higher scoring team. That's interesting to think about. So with that being the case, what's the right side to be on the total? Well, myself, I'm going to go with the under. And here's why. If you watch the game, and Portland players said as much afterwards, is that they just missed a lot of open shots. They had shots. They weren't necessarily contested. I believe of the 8 first-round playoff games in terms of there's analytics, not analytics, but there's a website out there that measures. They have a method of checking number of open shots taken. So however they do that, Portland had the second most of all the teams this past week in game 1 of their series. So they just missed them. So with that being the case, they should probably make some more, but I'm still like the under on this one because Portland is 14-4 under off a home loss by 6 points or less, and the Pelicans are 12-3. That's right, 12-3 under when playing with 2 days rest. So I like the under in that situation. Let's move ahead to Major League Baseball, where we have 2 high-profile games going tonight that had line moves, which is sort of interesting. So there's a lot of interest in these games. First one is Washington and the New York Mets. Washington handed the Mets just their 3rd loss of the season, and oddly enough, all 3 of those losses have come at home for the Metropolitans at Citi Field. With this in mind, bettors are liking what Washington brings to the table tonight and have taken them from a plus 110 underdog to a minus 120 favorite. Now, among the reasons for this, and the analytics crowd is crying in their wine glasses about this right now, is in 2016, Gio Gonzalez, 30 years old, his fastball lost some velocity. I mean, it was clear, he was no longer throwing 95, 96, he was throwing the low 90s. So automatically they jump in and they say, you know what? He's on a downward trail. Things are, it's just imminent that he's going to go down. Okay, and that was the talk going into 2017. Well, all Gonzalez did last year, 15 wins, 15-9, had a 2, I think 94 ERA. Okay, he was terrific. Okay, His velocity wasn't significantly better, like 92, 93 is pretty much where he topped out at. But the guy knows how to pitch. And again, this year, 3 starts, he's got a 2.20 ERA. So with that in mind, oh, and by the way, for the analytics crowd that is watching, his WAR last year was 6.6. So, you can sip your Chardonnay and enjoy that as well. Now, against the Mets, though, Gonzalez, 14-5 record. Excellent against the Mets. And in the last 3 years at Citi Field, the Nationals are also 14-5. So with that in mind, I am going to go with Washington to win that game outright. Next up, left coast, the 2 best teams in the American League, the Boston Red Sox and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. In this one, there's a lot of Ohtani fever in the air. And with that in mind, the Angels have gone from -140 all the way up to -165. Now, of course, the Japanese sensation has been absolutely fantastic to start the season. He's pitched well. He's hit very well. So he's doing everything that's expected of him. He's going to be off a long layoff, though. It's normally, likes to work on 6 days. He picked up 2 extra days off. So that could affect him. I don't know what his track record was back in Japan, if and when these types of things occurred, but he has been the real deal so far. So with that in mind, though, you look but he's not the only reason, though. The Angels are doing so well. Their 13-3 record is a franchise best at 16 games. But how about the Red Sox? Red Sox record's even better. It's 13-2, and with that. That start, 13-2, is their best ever also in franchise history, except their franchise history goes back 118 years. So now you got David Price, who off his last outing, he did have numbness in his pitching arm, left after 1 inning, took the loss, but Boston at 13-2, a +155 underdog with a solid pitcher like Price. Maybe he wasn't quite as good as he used to be, but he's still David Price, okay? With that in mind, the value is with Boston, right? But, even though I prefer to, take value whenever possible, I got 5 systems that say the Angels win the game, and all the 5 of those systems are 80+% systems. So I'm going to lean with the Halos in this one. And on the total side, the total went from 7.5 to 8. I think this is going to be, I think both pitchers are going to pitch well. I think both bullpens do well. I think this is going to be a 4-3 Angels victory. So I'm also going to lean with the under on that one. All right, let's go to some NHL action, and it's going to be on MSNBC tonight. NBC Sports. Washington against Columbus. Now, Columbus is in uncharted waters. Okay, I'll let you figure that one out. Leading their playoff series 2-0. First time ever they've been ahead in a playoff series 2-0. Now, the Blue Jackets in this series are the 5th team ever in back-to-back games to be trailing by at least 2 goals and come back and win the game. Okay, pretty darn remarkable, and they won both in overtime. Now, they can all but the Blue Jackets, I should say, can all but wrap up the series tonight if they take a 3-0 lead and they're playing on home ice. However, bettors are not as quite convinced about how this the outcome might be, and have taken Columbus from -140 down to -130 on the money line. Now, the Capitals first of all, the Capitals, they got nobody to blame but themselves, okay? I mean, you have 2-goal leads in 2 different games and you don't win either one. I mean, okay, you can make the case that, the overtime, bad luck, et cetera, but you can't blow those games. But part of the problem, at least in my opinion, was they like Gruber to start, and I'm going to go with Brandon Holtby. Brandon Holtby hasn't always been a superstar in the playoffs the last couple of years. I understand that, but I'd much rather have him than Gruber, and Gruber was fine during the regular season, but he wasn't great. So with that in mind, Washington looks like a pretty good play, I think, overall on this one to at least get themselves back in the series. Whether they win it, different story altogether. And if they're playing in a situation like tonight where they've given up 4 or more goals in 2 games, they're 12-2 in their next outing. I'm not a strong play, a lean with Washington. So, hey, this is Doug Upson for Vegas Pro Insiders Daily. Membership, VPID membership, $39.99. Take care of you for 30 whole days. As of right now, I am out.